We were at the McDonald's. I had two playing one in the balls and one up in a tube. And my baby child did not have any teeth yet. She was in a high chair. And I threw a cheeseburger onto her high chair. And she gummed it down. And a woman came over the intercom and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, but your baby has pooped in the tube." So then I would have to go up in the tube, get my baby, pull my baby down through the tube. Do y'all remember playing in the balls? My children love the balls, and little children would be playing in a dirty diaper, swim by on top of the balls. And then like a chicken nugget, they're going through. Where my kids went to school, they went to a small Christian school in Knoxville, and I swear all those kids were like pilgrims. And everybody dated intentionally. That's what they called it. They would go, "We're dating intentionally." And that was so foreign to me. Because I didn't. And so I would say to my boy, "Why don't you take that little girl to Steak and Shake in a movie?" And he'd go, "Good night. I can't do that. I barely know her. I need to talk to her for a year before we can go on a date." And I'd be like, "Good night. I went with anybody that asked me to go anywhere." He watches Viking shows, and then there's Game of Thrones and all that. I cannot watch it. All that. I hate it. I can hear all that while I'm brushing my teeth. It's gross. It's porn. It's porn. We were in Alaska, and it was just me and my husband with his co-workers that my kids didn't go that year, and they said, "We're going to go on a float trip in a little airplane to see the glaciers." So we all line up on where this little float plane is in the water, and this little crusty man comes up with a Marlboro Red hanging out of his mouth and says, "How much do y'all weigh?" And I can tell you right now, I lied through my teeth. And I'd say everybody else did. I think everybody lied. And I thought, this little man doesn't have a good count. This little man doesn't have a good count. We're all going to die up in this plane. We drove to Oxnard. I worked the first weekend in Oxnard, and they are darling people. I thought, who are these people? Who is out here living? Because there's big old houses with boats pulled up to them. You know, I've never seen anything like that. I thought, who are these hoop-de-doo people? And I asked them, I go, "What do people do here for a living?" And they said, "We farm." Well, I'm from farming people. I'm from farming people. And we grow alfalfa and corn and soy. And so I asked them, I go, "What do y'all farm?" And they said, "Strawberries and dope." They were out, I don't know what they were doing, fishing or rock climbing, doing something. They found a little baby beaver, and her mama had been killed or she'd been abandoned. Anyway, they brought her back to the dorm room. I happened to go visit that weekend, and I walk in, and my boy is holding a little beaver in his arms in a blanket, feeding her a kitten bottle. And I said, "How do you even know what to feed her?" And he said, "I've called the beaver hotline." Look at all these precious couples here tonight, and these men that are darling with button-downs on that have come to see me. Thank y'all. Y'all are hoop-de-doo, though, people, right? Y'all are. Y'all play golf and tennis, you boys do? Yeah. He watches Viking shows, and then there's Game of Thrones and all that. I cannot watch it. All that. I hate it. I can hear all that while I'm brushing my teeth. It's gross. It's porn. It's porn. My husband husband, I bet y'all are a lot like him because my husband's like that and very driven and overachiever. And I had to hide from him that I was watching Real Housewives because he thought it was awful. He goes, "What are you watching this mess?" And I would have to get the remote and do this real quick and change it before he got up to the bedroom. And one time he said to me, "By watching this, Leanne, you are single-handedly ruining the United States of America." And I thought, that's a heavy burden to put on me. Y'all are living in Florida, so do y'all just keep a bathing suit going all the time? You have to have a bathing suit. Okay, well, I hate to try one on. I'd rather take a bullet. The people they got to open for me were darling, but they're all young boys that love the weed. And they've explained to me the strains, that there's different strains, and I didn't know that. And so I get out with my children in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we walk around to go eat, and I smell something. I go, "Who's boiling that cabbage?" And they say, "Nobody's boiling cabbage, Mom. That's weed." So it didn't smell like that in the 80s. He really does not believe in fancy cars. He doesn't think anybody needs a nice car. My children drive old, beat-up cars, and what he does for me, he'll buy me a car about a year old, pay cash for it, and then make me drive it the rest of my life. I finally had to put my foot down because I was driving a 2009 white Honda Pilot, and they're wonderful cars, but if you don't know what that model looks like, it looks like I was delivering Lay's potato chips. I never felt pretty in it. It had over 239,000 miles on it when lights started flashing in it saying, "Get out, Leanne, get out." One of my good friends said, "Leanne, I've got a gas fireplace in my master bedroom and I love that thing. But every time I turn it on, Sam thinks we're going to do it." I can't even enjoy my own fireplace. And this is what's crazy. This Invisalign tray, if I don't have it in, if I'm soaking it in some Polident, and I forget about it, my husband's like, but if I pop that Invisalign tray in, he's like, "Good night." Okay, the 5 love languages. All right, me and Chuck Morgan in Sunday school class went on a retreat, and they talked to us about the 5 love languages. You know, and it's written by little Gary Chapman, who is a doll and tiny and that man's probably getting in his 90s, and he does sit-ups every day. And that little thing, I got to meet him later, he was a doll. But anyway, the 5 love languages, if you don't know about that, you got to get it. There was a 5 love languages for your marriage, and then there's one for your children, and you need to get that. Everybody's got a love language, and you take the test. You got to read the book and take the test. If you don't read the book, I didn't, but you can take the test. I like to read books about Hollywood murder. So anyway, you take the test, and then and your husband takes the test, and you find out what his love language is, and he finds out what your love language is. And if you find that out, then you can feed them their love language. And then, so I can feed Chuck Morgan his love language, and then his love tank fills full. If I don't, he could go to work and be at a water fountain, and some whore comes up to him and starts feeding him his love language, and then he feels a tingle, and then Satan swoops in. So these are the 5 love languages. Quality time. If
You may know somebody that just wants you to sit on the couch and watch ESPN with them. Something like that. Then there's gifts. That's my sister's love language. It doesn't have to be something expensive. Just so you thought of her, if you buy her a card and a rose from the grocery store, she'll bawl her eyes out. And then there's words of affirmation. That's mine. But physical touch. Physical touch, which I know every woman in here is like, that's my husband. Physical touch, but it's not that kind of physical touch. We're talking about the physical, when people that just want to hug you and squeeze on you and all that all the time. That's their love language, is physical touch. But women think, oh, that's my husband's and he's on me like a duck on a June bug. But that's not the... All right, then there's words of affirmation. That's mine. So all Chuck Morgan has to do is say, you look beautiful tonight. You are a good mama. That Trisha Yearwood's chicken piccata is to die for. And then my love tank feels full. And then I'm willing to do something vulgar with him. And then he gives me money to get my hair highlighted. See? It works out, It's God's way. And then my husband's is acts of service. So for him to feel loved, I have to go in the garage and build a set of shelves.